Welcome to William Tells, an insightful look inside the private music studio. This program is brought to you from Pedal Point Music in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of William Tells. Today I have a very special treat for you. My mother is joining us. This will be an interesting program, I must say. We sat down recently and talked about how she learned to play the piano and how she still uses that gift today as she approaches 80 years old. And she's probably not going to thank me very much for giving her age away. That was not very gentlemanly of me, was it? But I think you'll enjoy listening to what she has to say. It's a totally different approach to piano. It's not my approach to piano. It's not the way I play, but it's the way she plays. And she taught me initially, and I inherited musical genes from her. So I'm very excited for you to hear from her and hear her thoughts on learning to play the piano and what that means. Today on William Tells. So today I'm sitting at my mom's house, and we've been hanging out for the last day or two, just enjoying each other's company. We may get some snow here, right?
I understand that, yes.
Oh. How much snow are they talking?
Talking 2 to 3 inches, maybe more near Blairsville.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of snow. I'll bet you get more, based on what I read.
Well, the kid in me says yes, I would like more. Not everyone feels that way.
Right. But the snow, it's nice. A nurse in my doctor's office said this week, she was so excited, but she's like, hopefully it'll be gone by Tuesday. I'm off Monday, and I will have had my winter all in one weekend, and I'm off. So today we're going to talk about playing the piano, and you've been playing for a while. So I'm going to talk about your experience in playing the piano and go through that. First of all, when did you start playing the piano? Do you remember?
I do. I was around the age 11 or 12, and we had this old piano that was in my bedroom of all places. Yet it was good for me there. So I sat down one day and just started listening to the sound, and I picked out a very simple song. And as the years went on, I did a course. John, I cannot remember.
Thompson?
Yes.
Really?
I did, yeah.
You did a course. Did a teacher guide you through it, or did you do it yourself?
I did it on my own.
So you're self-taught?
I was self-taught, mostly by ear, because what was on the pages made sense, but I wanted more. And so through the years, it progressed, and my experience was first thing finding middle C. It took me a while to realize that's where everything works from, for me. I don't know about,
Yeah, it is kind of the central part of the music universe, middle C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at one point, so through the years, high school and on up, I just kind of did things for myself. And I married, and right away, I wanted my children to play the piano as well. They all showed interest, but Will seemed to have shown, the most interest. Therefore, did what I could to help him along with that. Got him into music. Needless to say, he practiced from daylight till dark.
I think I drove you nuts.
No, not really. Maybe others, but not me.
I remember, I'll take over this for a minute, see if you remember this. When we lived for a while in that farmhouse when Dad bought that old family's property. And we lived in that farmhouse. The piano was off in a side room, which must have been a dining room or something at one time. And I remember sitting, and I had to be 3 years old, I suppose, at that point, and just banging, bang, bang. But in my head, I was hearing music, and I thought everyone else was too. And I was trying to sing a song. I'm sure that didn't sound very good either. But it was just bang, 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 bang. And I learned a lot from that. You let me do that. You didn't correct me on that. And why didn't you correct me when I was just banging on the piano?
Because I could hear something as well. I can't say that I heard specific notes. I can't say that I heard a specific tune, but there was a rhythm there.
Rhythm? Why is rhythm so important?
Why is rhythm? It's
Yeah.
very important. Well, let me just say this. I was a preschool teacher, and we found this to be very helpful in the classroom. Rhythm was one thing. If you could get a child to do rhythm, you could get them to do other things. So music has been the biggest part of my life, I guess you'd say, in many different ways. I'm sure you have a definition for rhythm.
So, yes. Well, yeah. Timing is everything, isn't it? And that's a cliche, but it is true. Timing, and especially in music, timing, rhythm is everything. Back to you. Enough of me. So, when you learned to play the piano and you taught yourself, could you hear if you made a mistake?
Yes.
So you could tell right away.
Oh, yes.
So in your mind, you were already hearing the music.
Yes.
How should, and this is an ambiguous question you may or may not know the answer to, how should a child learn to play the piano?
Well, from experience, they should learn their music first. And I'll tell you why. Because I didn't have that opportunity and I did it all by ear. That was a stumbling block for me because I couldn't sit down and just play any and everything. I had to hear it first. So I tried taking music after I was playing. I couldn't. It was too frustrating because I knew I could play this song. But I would not recommend that for a child.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you here,
Okay.
to an extent. Well, I'm going to agree and disagree. I think that it's important for a child to hear the music, and first, really. I mean, I think if they can hear the music, they have a greater chance of creating and replicating what they're hearing. I do hear you that it's frustrating that you couldn't read music, and with all the pushing you did for me to learn to read music, it was after college, really, before I became halfway decent at sight reading. That was my weakest area, I think, sight reading, because if I could hear it, I was not interested in reading it, because I'm like, I already have this in my head. Why would I read that that's on the page? I mean, that's a very basic understanding of it. And so, I don't know, don't you think your ear was really a strength? And maybe
yes.
It was so strong, you had a hard time supplementing the vision, seeing
Yes.
the music and reading it. But the ear was not wrong, it was just strong.
Yes, very much so. Even today, at the age that I am, it's still very strong. I hear a song and I think, wow, I like that, but it has all these minor and major chords in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I could do that, but I can.
What do you think music has done to keep your mind, and I'm not asking you to be a doctor here, but just your opinion, do you think your music keeps you sharp?
Yes,
And keeps you going mentally?
yes. I sing to myself
I mean, we all know you're crazy, but I'm joking.
I love it.
But,
Yes, I sing to myself even when I'm, doing chores and different things. There's music constantly going in my head. Now, lots of people might not understand that. If you're musically inclined, you do. I can hear just words, and I think, hey, that's a melody. We could put something to that. I never did, but it is a fulfillment in my dream to hear you do that. So I say I'm living through you in a sense with my music.
well, your dreams aren't that big then.
I disagree. I remember one time we were visiting someone in the hospital, and they had a heart monitor. And you looked at me and you said, "That's the key E flat." And I thought, whatever.
But that's the ear at work. I mean, it's the mind at work, really. The mind and our ears, our eyes, our fingers, for that matter, are an extension of our minds.
Right.
And what we hear up there, these things do, or vice versa.
If I might add, music is very calming. It satisfies something in me that keeps me from being depressed. Whatever, if I can do music, I'm fine. Frustration, I take it out on the piano.
Okay, let's talk about another thing. Let's get personal about the music. For you, and I know this having grown up in your house and being tutored by you, as it were, your big ambition for us when we were kids was to ramp up our talents so we could use them in church and share our faith, as it were, with our music. And that's not unusual. I mean, people of all faiths share their music to share their faith. I mean, there's music to share their faith. But your faith is very important to you when it comes to your music especially. When did you first start playing in church?
I began when my children were small, and I had a piano at home, so I started teaching them to sing, or y'all to sing, So I saw my piano playing grow, and eventually I played in church for the children to sing. Eventually I was asked to play for the choir. I might tell this, I think it would be a good thing. I was so scared the first time I played. I remember my leg wouldn't be still on the pedal. It was jerking because I was nervous. But once I calmed down, that was, I guess I was in probably 30s.
I have lots and lots of memories, of course, of doing music at church. And in particular, up here in the mountains, and you live up in the mountains of North Georgia, church the music's a little different than it is anywhere else. It really is. I mean, you can kind of find a church that's similar to churches up here, but you never really find the music that's exactly like it is here. And I, for one, believe that music is a world to itself, and it's a wide world. And to think that one style or one kind of music is better or more beautiful than another is to misunderstand what music is all about. I really set that up for you. I don't know if you agree with me, but
I do agree. I might add there that music is an expression that you can express what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your emotions, and where you cannot talk it sometimes.
I have, of course, students from all different parts of the world that come to my studio, and I'm sure most of them have never experienced what I did growing up, but they have their own experiences with music and express through that. And to me, that is really amazing to hear people express themselves through music like that, especially when it comes to their spirituality or their faith. And we don't all see things the same way, but we all go to that common expression of music, right? Is there anyone else in your family that's musical?
Yes, my grandmother was. She played by ear, and some of my uncles did. My dad played some by ear.
So it came from your dad's side of the family?
Yes.
Yeah.
It seemed to go, back there were several of those that played. But I think more of my grandmother Paget is who I think of when I think of family that played. She was, when I would be with her, she would play. And she'd say, try this.
Oh, and she would get you to play. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's one reason I enjoy teaching so much, because I like seeing kids, grasp a musical concept and run with it. Sometimes it takes them 2 years to actually get there, and then suddenly one little concept clicks and everything else starts falling into place. Mm-hmm. It's just patience.
It is.
Yeah.
And self-discipline is a big thing. I know that took me for a long time to discipline myself if I made a mistake, to keep trying. I think, I can't play that. Yet I could play that. And so I got a satisfaction. I get a satisfaction from music that I don't get from anything else. And again, I'll say from preschool, in a classroom you can't calm a child down, or a room of children. You put on music. It just evens things out.
Depends on music too, I guess, right?
It does. You are so right.
Okay, so thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Maybe we can talk again sometime.
Sure.
Share some things. I will be emotional for a moment, and thank you for the influence you had on me. And I'm not a phenomenal musician, but I certainly enjoy my music, and I think that's what we should do, enjoy it. And I appreciate it that you let me bang on the piano when it wasn't musical to anyone else, and I could hear music. And eventually became music. Yes. And I hope other parents will do the same.
Yes.
If they can tolerate it.
Yes.
And there's headphones now, folks, so you can plug their keyboards into headphones and let them bang away. Just don't let them damage it, but let them explore. Let kids explore.
If I might add one more thing, I have a great-grandchild that's come along. And he just, he would be at my house, when it was just the two of us here, when he found middle C,
he started playing melodies. Music's such a like I said, it's a wide world of experience, and we can certainly find the intelligentsia of music, the people who are really well studied and play a lot of different styles and a lot of classical music, but they're not the only ones in that world, and their music is not all that's important. It is important, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful and wonderful to study, but anyone with interest in music should explore it.
And you have to go through that discipline of finding yourself, finding self-confidence. I can do this. And my advice to any parent would be, let your child be a child and learn. I was only 11 or 12, somewhere thereabout.
And you need oil for your chair, it's squeaky.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to make music with the chair.
Thank you again.
She rocked my cradle and sang
smile on her face and love in her eyes. She always took time to kneel by my bed and ask for God's help in the days ahead. Her voice is so clear in the back of my mind as she asks God, dear Lord, to help me to find the straight narrow way to eternal day. Lord, I'm glad you heard what my mother prayed. Sometimes I look back through my childhood years, and those memories so sweet bring laughter and tears. But the best thoughts I have from them just won't go away. They're the kind, gentle words that my mama prayed. Her voice is so clear in the back of my mind as she asks God, dear Lord, to help me to find the straight narrow way to eternal day. Lord, I'm glad you heard what my mother prayed. She showed to me the straight narrow way. I'm glad you heard what my mother prayed.
Well, that is the program for today. Did you find it interesting? I hope so. It is a different approach to piano, but it's intriguing, and it explains to you a little bit of the culture, I think, up in the mountains there of Georgia. Thank you for tuning in, and if you have any ideas for future episodes, you can write to me. Write to Will, W-I-L-L, at willsuitmusic.com. will@willsuitmusic.com. I'll get your email, and I'll certainly take into consideration your ideas or any thoughts you may have. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, remember that music is the constant voice beneath the progressions of life.
William Tells is a production of Paddle Point Music in Atlanta, Georgia.